Donald Ban McDonald and his wife Mary. Now these are grandparents to Mary McDonald, who married Jeremiah Ryan. So Jeremiah married Mary in 1864. We don't know where Mary was buried. We've never found any record of her death, and we don't know where her tombstone is, unfortunately. We do know something about her grandfather, who lived to be 104 years old. Him and his wife are the Scottish connection in the family. They were born in Scotland and came here in the late 1700s. He lived in Belnan on 300 acres of land on the Garden Road. Okay, so where the heck is the Garden Road? So here we have an old map. I think this is from 1803-ish. Okay, and so you've got, let's see, for reference, you've got 9 Mile River in the upper right here, because I'm zoomed in on the map. You've got Renfrew down here. And the actual town that he lived in is not on this map. I wonder if it didn't exist at the time. His property is down here in the lower right, the third one from the bottom. Ban McDonald, 300 acres. And you can see, I mean, the town that he lived in was literally right here. And it's not indicated on the map. So yeah, I guess it did not exist at the time the map was made. But yeah, this is a big chunk of property here, 300 acres. Archibald Scott, that rings a bell. I wonder if that is his wife's father. But you can see lots of McDonald's around here. I don't know if they're all related, but there's a lot of them. See this little hook in the river here? That's kind of the southwest corner of his property. Okay, so here's a Google map. I basically kind of identified it based on where the river was. Okay, so here's the big bump right there. That's where the southwest corner of his property is, and then extends way out here for 300 acres. So all this property belonged to Donald Ban McDonald. And then if you map it out roughly, you can see that's the legend down here says 2,000 feet. So to get to the church and the cemetery, which is now called 9 Mile River United Church. It used to be called St. Joseph's. This is where he's buried, and that's roughly 4 miles. It's 4 miles between here and following the roads. Oops, I zoomed out in by down here to his property. So that kind of gives you sort of some perspective on how far away things are. And then if we zoom out just a little bit, we should be able to see. Oh, well, you can see Shubenacadie, because this is where Jeremiah Ryan was raised, where he lived his life. And I'm thinking, I have no proof yet, but I'm thinking that this 9 Mile River Church, since that's where they were married, was a 9 Mile River. And as far as I know, that is the only church, certainly the only Catholic church, or used to be Catholic. I think that's where they were married. So I'm thinking this is where Jeremiah Ryan and Mary McDonald were married. And then right across the street is the cemetery. Now, looking at this, I don't know exactly where her grandfather is buried. In fact, I wondered if she's buried here. His tombstone is pretty simple. It's kind of this faded gray rectangle with just a ever so slight point at the top. And supposedly his wife is buried there with him. So this is where Mary McDonald's grandfather or grandparents are buried, at the very least. I wouldn't mind looking in to see whether or not she's buried here. And although I have no proof yet, since this is the only Catholic church in 9 Mile River, I believe this is where Jeremiah and Mary were married in 1864.